أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Warm salam to everybody in the Philippines, in Iligan City, and thank you for inviting me. Unfortunately, I cannot be with you, so I'm doing it through a video just to talk about some ideas around the idea of or the notion of serving and the service from an Islamic perspective. And once again, it's very important for us to come back to the essence of the Islamic message, understanding it Tawheed, La ilaha illallah. And when we are saying this relationship to Allah is based on three things that we have to understand. The first is acknowledging that there is one God, which is at Tawheed wa Shahada. When we say Ashhadu, so I testify that there is no God by God, and then I enter into Islam by testifying, and the Shahada is the two parts, as we know. And having said that, what we know here is that what Allah and God is telling us is وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We gave dignity to human being, which is connected to the other verse, which is related to Ar-Rahma, Rahmatullah. It's Ar-Rahman, Allama al-Quran, Khalaqa al-Insan, which is one God, Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. He taught us the Quran, and then He created man. So the way we are connected to God has to do with first our intrinsic essence. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We gave dignity to human being. And then what we understand is that through reading the Quran and getting this taqwa, this reverential love, which is not exactly piety, it's not exactly fear, the way we translate this into English, is deeper than that. It's reverential love. It's that loving Allah. In kuntum tuhibbun Allah, if you love God. So this is what we are trying to reach. And we don't want to disappoint God. We want to obey. We want to come close. We want to satisfy. We are trying to get His satisfaction. Rid Allah. Ya ayyuhat nafsul mutma'inna irja'i ila rabbiki radiyatan maradiyya. So this is what we are trying to get, is His satisfaction. How are you going to get this? Going from our natural dignity, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, to the understanding of إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ, is that the most dignified among you in the sight of God is the one who is nurturing this reverential love the best way. So we have steps from the intrinsic to the spiritual. How are we going to do this? How are we going to, when we acknowledge that there is one God? This is why we understand why the Prophet, peace be upon him, ﷺ, said in a very clear statement, in a very clear hadith, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. شوف الكرامة, تكريم, كرمنا, all these words are connected here. Makarim al-akhlaq, which is the most dignified. So I was sent by to beautify, to complete the most noble characters. And al-akhlaq sometimes is translated into ethics, but it's also values. So these are the values, al-qiyam al-akhlaqiyya, the ethical values. It's also a suluk, it's the behavior, and it's also the way we have to deal with the whole issue here. So in that way, we understand that we need to get this taqwa. And to get this taqwa, the only way for us to achieve it is through our behavior. Our behavior is going to be full of al-akhlaq. Al-khaliq is the creator. Khalaqa al-khalq. He created the universe, and He's asking us to behave with akhlaq, with ethical values, and suluk, the good behavior. And it's through this way of understanding our relationship to God through al-akhlaq that we can nurture this reverential love that will help us to come close to Him. So through al-akhlaq you come back to al-khaliq. That's important. Why? Because in this process we understand that everything that we have to do is to behave with and through these values that we are talking about. How are we going to do that? الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, those who believe and do good deeds. How are you going to do this? Is through our behavior that we will be able as Muslims to reach the level of this reverential love that we are seeking, that we are longing for. And here we understand that as the Prophet ﷺ said, خيركم خيركم, the best among you, أنفعكم للناس. أنفعكم للناس is the one who is the most useful for الناس, humanity, not only within the community, not only among Muslims, but for the humanity. So the best way to come close to the one is to serve the people. It's to serve the humanity. So this is the very essence of Islam, because this is the way through this service and this useful presence that you are going to come back to the essence of you worshipping the only one. So here the service within the community, it's manifold. It's something that we need to understand. Is, for example, to the point that the Prophet ﷺ is saying, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخي ما يحبه لنفسه. And in another version of the hadith, يحب لجاره ما يحبه لنفسه. So you have to care about your brothers and your sisters, about your neighbor, Muslims or people of other faiths. And the best way, by for example, and especially for you in Philippines, be careful when you talk about people of other faiths. Don't call them non-Muslims. You don't like to be called non-Christians or non-Buddhists. You are Muslims, and you like the people to call you Muslims. So when we talk about people, we don't talk them in a negative way. I'm defining you through my window, which I am a Muslim, so you are non-Muslim. No, you are people of other faiths, you are Christians, you are Buddhists, you are whatever, but we call the people with the respect which is due to the people. This is the starting point of serving. I'm serving you through the way I talk to your heart and I talk to your mind. And then your neighbor could be a Muslim or somebody who has another religious affiliations or a religious reference. We respect our neighbor. So we serve the neighbor in the way we deal with noise, with the way we deal with food, in the way we deal with caring about the people around us. So caring, it's the first service which has to do with, and then even within the community, everything in Islam has to do about caring about the poor. The first verses coming to the Prophet ﷺ were talking about what? About poverty. كلا بل لا تكرمون. Look again, the word تكرمون. You don't give dignity. لا تكرمون اليتيم, to the poor people and the orphans. So everything has to do with al-karama here, the dignity that you have to deal with your poor people as Muslims. Why do you fast? Why do you pray? Why do you all this? Is to give yourself this internal, to imbibe your heart and your mind with all the values that are so necessary to serve the people. So you serve the people, you serve the poor, you serve the less visible in the society, and you are cautious with the more visible. Be careful. Anyone who is close to power might be far from his heart and far from the very essence of faith. So serving, and then even with nature, even with species around you, animals, and the way we have to deal. We have to serve life, we have to respect. Serving is to respect is to love is to come close to God. So these are essential teachings that we need. And then comes the other dimension, which has to do also with people of other faiths. خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى جعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا. We made you nations and tribes in order for you to know each other. So to know each other is the first service to people, is I respect you to the point that I want to know you. I want to know about you. So this knowledge, it's very important that we also have here to be involved in knowledge. We have to be in serving, solidarity, and it's not only solidarity, it's justice. I serve humanity if I work for social justice within the Muslim community. No hierarchy. It's important to understand that it cannot justify any exploitation, any injustice. We serve humanity through transparency, no corruption. So serving the people, being and respecting the environment, which is part of everything which has to do with Islam. So here you have serving as the path. So if you want to implement Sharia as the path towards faithfulness, coming back to God, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, in that path Tell me who you serve, I will know who you are. You serve him, it means you are going to serve humanity. Not humanity at any price, humanity through justice first. Dignity, freedom, justice, equality. This is it. And also with in private with your own wife and your own husband. That's very important. When nobody sees you, he is still with us. And then you need to know, are you serving? And the Prophet ﷺ, at home, kana fi khidmati ahli. So the Prophet was serving his wife. He was helping at home. So many in our communities today are not doing anything. They want to be perceived as great Muslims, and they don't know how to serve at home their family, their wife, or their kids. That's the starting point of everything. Serve. You will be served. And you know, there is something which has to do with man la yarham la yurham. Those who are not showing mercy are not going to face, and they will not going to be treated with mercy. This is what you give, it's what you will get at the end. We need to get that. That's something which is essential in our understanding. Let me just thank you again. That's essential things that we need to get from as Muslims, as people trying to understand the very message of Islam. And once again, I want to thank the CMYO for their invitation, the Iligan in Iligan City in Philippines. Thank you for inviting me. Sorry not being able to be with you. Hope that these few words are just reminding you that if you are close to God, you serve humanity, but with conditions. And these conditions are the way I'm dignified, the way I protect my freedom and the freedom of others, the way I protect justice, transparency and equality, men and women all together. It's a jihad. The jihad for our dignity is the jihad for serving. Serving means, in our times today, struggling against your own ego, your own selfishness, just to be somebody who is useful. At the end, the only true question is, tell me why you are here. For what are you useful? If you can answer, this is the starting point of your spiritual journey, inshallah. And don't forget, never forget to tell the people you love that you love them, because this life is fragile. Wassalamu ala wa a'lam wa a'la wa ahkam. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.